This right here is the RTX 2080. Today we'll be pairing this up with the 9800X 3D and 64 GB of DDR5 memory in 10 different games on 1080p to see if this is still viable in 2025. Without further ado, let's just jump into the specs. As you guys can see here on the left side, the GPU Z specs for the card, and on the right side, the rest of the details for the PC and the afterburner, not overclocked or anything, base speeds. So let's jump into the benchmarks. And as usual, we're going to be starting things off on Cyberpunk. The objective is like just getting stable optimized settings. Just, that's the main objective of this video. Trying to see if we can just play the games on 60 FPS on 1080p, because it's an 8 GB card. So most of the people will be trying to get 60 FPS on 1080p. So that's the goal here. So in Cyberpunk, we're going DLAA and 1080p right here with high preset. We're not turning on any ray tracing, just high preset to see if we can get to 60 FPS, which gives us almost close to a 60 FPS experience, as you guys can see right here, using about 215 watts of power. That's a lot for 1080p gaming these days. It's barely getting 50 FPS. So that's one of the downsides of these first generation ray tracing cards, because they use a lot of power. If you compare this to a 5060, it uses lesser power but gives you better performance, like a 15 to 20% better performance. Yeah, so let's just try DLSS quality now in 1080p. Now that will give us a stable 60 plus FPS experience all the time. So Cyberpunk is pretty cool, pretty smooth experience on 1080p. Just gotta downscale a little bit to performance not performance, quality DLSS. You can have a really smooth experience. I have to go further below this. And now let's just try turning on some ray tracing and see if we can still manage a 60 FPS experience on DLSS quality. So from 80 FPS we are down to 56 FPS with all the ray tracing turned on. So if you ask me, that's a really good experience. I can play almost at 60 FPS and also have all the ray tracing turned on. That's a win, right? So for me, these will be the recommended settings for Cyberpunk on a 2080 and a 9800X 3D though. I know the CPU is like the top of the line. Most people will be having a 9th or 10th gen CPU, Intel or a Ryzen mid-range CPU, not a 9800X 3D with a 2080, but this gives you an idea what the best CPU with a 7-year-old GPU will do. So that's Cyberpunk. Let's go to GTA 5 Enhanced. So we are on 1080p again with maximum ray tracing preset. So everything is maxed out and we're playing it on DLAA, native settings. And this is GTA 5. You can definitely play the game in most of the systems that I've tested. But the 2080 is like a little bit shy from 60 FPS. Everything maxed out on 1080p. But it's GTA 5. You can still play the game like this if you want to. So if you want a proper 60 FPS experience, you can just drop it down a little bit to quality or something, which is what we're doing here. So drop down to DLSS quality. Now it's 80 plus FPS, which is really good, if you ask me. It's GTA 5, just it's a chill little game. So super cool experience on GTA 5, which is expected, It's a 15-year-old game at this point. We should be able to get this type of experience in GTA 6. That'll be really cool. Now let's move on to Alan Wake 2. Really intensive game. This thing crushes any GPU you throw at it. So let's see, on DLA medium settings with no ray tracing or anything, getting close to 50 FPS, staying just above 50 FPS most of the time. So this is medium on 1080p. I mean, this game is super intensive. So, and this area, this forest area in the beginning of the game, it's one of the most intensive areas as well. So yeah, Alan Wake 2, it's going to be really hard to run this game on 60 FPS with native settings. So you're going to go down to DLSS quality as usual on the same medium settings. Now that will get us to 80 FPS, 70 plus FPS. That's what we need, right? So 1080p DLSS quality medium settings will give us 60 plus FPS smooth experience. So Alan Wake 2 is playable. I remember playing this game on the 9700K back when this came out, and it was a horrible experience. So if you want to check that video out, it's going to be up somewhere on the screen. So I think it's in this side. But yeah, you guys can see the difference that you can get with this 9800X 3D upgrade and the 9700K. So we are able to get pretty decent experience with just turning down the resolution upscaling to quality. Okay, my bad. That was actually low settings preset, no medium. So now we're going to medium. That was crazy. That was my mistake. It was actually low preset, not medium preset. Now we're actually in the medium preset. We're still able to get 60 FPS. So if you ask me, I can play the game like this on medium preset with DLSS quality. I'll be happy, even though it drops below 60 right here. But it's a pretty playable experience. It's a single player game. You don't need more than 55 FPS anyways. So yeah, Alan Wake 2 is playable. Next up, we're gonna go for one of the biggest GPU killer games that came out last year, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I'll go in medium settings with the native TAA instead of DLAA, because TAA will give you more FPS compared to DLAA. And on medium settings, easy 70 FPS. Yeah, Indiana Jones is playable. I'm pretty sure if you went for DLAA, it's gonna drop down from 60 because it takes away about 5 to 10 FPS. So just stick with TAA on a 2080 because you don't get any other new frame generation or DLSS 4 with the RTX 2080 anyway. So just stick to TAA. Not gonna lose any quality over anything. It's a pretty good looking game. So since that was pretty cool, I just wanted to test out on high with DLSS quality, because why not? If you're able to get more fidelity and still play the game about 60 FPS, I'll take that any day. And we are getting 80 FPS, almost 75 to 80 FPS with DLSS quality and high settings. And that's what I like. But when you come to the water scene, this area right here, it actually drops down below 60, So I'm going back to native TAA and medium settings. It wasn't giving us the same 80 FPS like we saw in the beginning. And it's dropping below 60 FPS because it's not everywhere. See, right here is staying above 60. So it depends, but it's still a really smooth experience if you ask me. So Indiana Jones, really playable. I'll bump down the graphics to medium, or you can play on high settings with DLSS quality, and you're good to go. And now next up, we got Wukong, Black Myth Wukong, another highly intensive game, Unreal Engine game. So we're on 1080p with the DLAA, medium settings and DLAA. We're getting 60 FPS. 60 FPS, pretty much playable if you ask me. And again, this depends on what area you are in the game, right? So if you go to a really dense vegetated area, it can differ. Or even in fight scenes, it could dip a little bit. But nonetheless, it's a really playable experience using about, maxing out almost the memory, actually. So from DLAA, let's go to DLSS quality and go high settings, because why not? So that'll give us a similar experience. So I recommend going in this settings with this setup if you're playing Black Myth Wukong, because you're getting 60 plus FPS experience and you're playing on high settings instead of medium. So yeah, why not? Just go for these settings. And in fight scenes like this, when you transform, might drop a little bit with the special effects. But it's still a pretty playable experience. Come on. So that's Black Myth Wukong. Really good experience on 1080p. And now, for the racing fans out there, I am doing Forza Horizon 5. It's been a long time since I played this game. I remember buying this, pre-ordering this when it came out in 2021. And I played it for a few hours and put my controllers down, and then I'm going back after like 3 years. So even back then, the game was pretty playable on 1080p on this card. So let's see if it's going to be the same or better. Hopefully better with the CPU upgrade. So we're going 1080p, extreme settings. And extreme settings, you're getting 70 plus FPS. Pretty solid. This game is like one of the best optimized games to have ever come out with stunning visuals. So that's always going to be a good thing. Imagine all the games were like this. Stunning visuals with the best optimization ever. That would have been great. Yeah, Forza Horizon is a cakewalk on the 2080. I'm pretty sure we can still get 60 plus FPS experience even on 4040p, but this is just for 1080p. So Forza Horizon, really good experience. I had to do the jump over here. I had to see if I could get the high score. And going for the ramp. And 1,575 feet. I think I made a new record for myself. No, I didn't. Yeah, you know what? Pretty good. Alright, those are some single player experience. This is so far so good. Now let's move on to some competitive games. So starting off on the finals, one of my favorite shooting games of all time. I just love the destruction that this game offers that no other game has. So we're starting things off on CNN and Epic settings just to see if I can still maintain 60 FPS, even though that's not our goal. In a shooting game, we should aim for higher refresh rate gameplay. So with those settings, we're getting 70 plus FPS. I'm locked to 60 FPS because I'm using an HDMI cable to record this on an external video capture device. So my gameplay is kind of ass right here because I'm stuck to 60 FPS. But we are still able to get more than 60 FPS with the maxed out settings. But since this is a FPS competitive game, let's turn down the settings. Let's just go all the way down to ultra performance and low settings because this is how I play the game. I need the absolute most amount of FPS that's possible to make the gameplay smoother. Since I have a 240Hz monitor, I might as well just go get all the FPS, so that's what I want to see. And I did make a CPU comparison video on the finals with the 9700K a couple months ago. So if you want to check that out, it's in my channel. 200 plus FPS experience. That is really good. If you have a 144Hz display, it's going to be absolutely fine. Absolutely perfect gameplay with the finals right here, even with all the distractions going on. So couldn't be more happier. But this will vary depending on your CPU again. 9800X3D helps a lot in these scenarios. So just keep that in mind. Now moving on to Marvel Rivals, the latest update came out like yesterday, Season 3. So we're going native DLAA and maxed out settings, getting 73 FPS. And man, Phoenix is a really fun character. I like her toolkit, She's kind of OP, if you ask me. And during fight scenes, it's going to drop below 60, unfortunately. Still using about 220 watts of power, which is crazy on 1080p. And we're going to drop it down to performance mode with the same epic settings, maxed out. Not a big jump, but still better than what we got before. Now he's going above 100 FPS, which is good. I'm still learning the character here. This is the first time jumping into the game. I just picked insta-locked Phoenix just to see how her gameplay was, and it was pretty fun. I liked it. And now finally, I'm going all the way low. The same deal as performance settings, getting close to 180 FPS. Actually 190, like almost 200 FPS. That's insane. And again, I also have another CPU battle video with the 9800X3D and the 9700K. And the difference was huge. So this just shows you just a CPU upgrade will go a long way. You don't have to get the latest GPU. If 1080p is all you want, this will be perfectly fine for you. You're getting 200 FPS. All you gotta do is just upgrade your monitor and your CPU and you're good to go. Now we're going to ultra performance to see the absolute best FPS we can get. And staying around 200, 223, that is crazy. So this is an absolutely wonderful experience if you ask me in Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals, really good experience. Next step is going to be Overwatch 2. I only play Reaper in this game. I don't play anybody else because I don't know how to play anybody else. This game, you don't even need to go down below ultra settings. One of the best optimized games ever. Still with maxed out settings, we're getting 200 FPS. This game is absolutely fine. And again, I also have another video for the CPU battle. So if you guys want to see that, which we were able to get 600 FPS with this combo, the 9800X3D and the 2080. All the detailed comparison and explanation and everything is in that video. So if you guys want to check that out, it's going to be up there somewhere. Absolutely fantastic experience in Overwatch 2, as we expected. Yeah, now finally we are on CS2, the biggest game on Steam. So we're going very high, maxing everything out, 1080p. Just playing some TDM. In this train map, couldn't find dust. So I just went with whatever I got. And as you can see, it's closing to 300 FPS. It's gonna drop down to the 150s. It's gonna still stay almost close to 200 FPS. It's CS2. It's gonna be a really good experience. No matter what the cost is. All right, now from very high, let's go all the way to low, because 300 FPS is not enough, right? So we should get more than that, definitely. That would give us almost close to 500 to 600 FPS experience. Absolutely insane. Even if you have a 500 Hz monitor, can make it useful, crank it out. Absolutely 500 FPS experience if you want that. So that is CS2. Super smooth gameplay. Even the average FPS is 450 plus. That's insane. So there you have it, guys. We've tried 10 different games on the 2080. So it's worth having a 2080 in 2025. I mean, yes, you can play almost any game if you just have all you need is a 1080p gaming experience and have decent frame rates. I'm gonna say the 2080 is still a good card, except that it uses a lot of power. So if you can get this thing for maybe like cheap $100 or something, then yeah. Or if you are a 2080 owner and if you just wanted to just upgrade your CPU, just go ahead and do that. You don't want to buy a $2,000 GPU. Just get a $1,000 CPU upgrade instead. It'll give you a lot of improvement that you're looking for. So yeah, the 2080, it's a good card, even in 2025 for 1080p gaming. So that'll be it for this video. What do you guys think? Let me know what you guys think about the 2080. If you still own one, your thoughts and what processor do you go with the 2080. All the comparison videos and everything will be in the channel, so feel free to check those out. And yeah, if you find this video helpful, subscribe. I'll be making more videos like this every week. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys are having a great time wherever you are. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.